Good evening, welcome to my Facebook Live tonight. My name is Michelle Jutrissa and I'm an independent demonstrator of Stamping Up in the Southern Highlands, which is just below Sydney in New South Wales. What we're going to do tonight is we're going to have a play with Peaceful Poppies. Now this is actually the first time I've had a play with them. Had a little bit of an idea today, cut out a few bits and pieces, but I really don't know how this card's going to turn out. So here's my details. If you want to purchase any of the products we're using tonight, you can go to michellejutrissa.stampingup.net and you will find this post on my blog, hopefully by this weekend or just soon after. So by all means, and please, if you go onto my blog, leave a message there for me, just so I know that you've been and you've visited, and then I can just acknowledge you. That would be great. Thanks. Okay, let's pop that to one side. So we're looking at Peaceful Poppies. Now this is in our mini catalogue, and I think it is one of the loveliest of designs. It's quite a big bundle if you wanted to purchase the whole bundle. So let me just open this up again so you can see. So the bundle complete with everything in it, and there's one bundle number there, which is 153938, and that's $238. Now you don't have to purchase the whole complete bundle, you can just purchase parts of it. But if you wanted to get the whole lot, that's what you're looking at there. And with that, you would get to choose a couple of different products from the Celebration catalogue, which unfortunately I don't have here close by me at the moment. But if you don't have either the mini catalogue or the Celebration catalogue, please pop me a line and let me know, and I'll get one to you in the mail as soon as I can, particularly if you, well, really only if you live here in Australia. So this bundle is made up of some really fantastic products. You've got the Peaceful Poppies Designer Series paper, which is a beautiful 12 by 12 paper, which is perfect for either card making or scrapbooking. You've got two bundles here, which is the Painted Poppies bundle, and we're going to be using portions of that bundle tonight, and the Peaceful Moments bundle. Now both bundles will work together and independently. It also comes with the sequence, which we'll be using tonight, some beautiful crinkled seam binding, and a pack of elements, which are pre-printed die cuts that have already been cut for you, and some of them are on watercolor paper so you can color them up, some of them on vellum, so really handy. I'm hoping to have a play with that fairly soon. So let me just turn this page over, because what they've done, as I said before, you don't have to purchase that whole complete bundle because it is a lot of money, but you can break it down into the two bundles, and even still you could break it down and just get the dies or just get the stamps, and again over here you could just buy the stamps or buy the dies. So what they've done is they've given us a beautiful stamp set of poppies, which has got some leaves in it, some poppy flowers, some little splodges, if you want to call them that, to colour it in. There's about 3 different types there. And then the dies coordinate with it. So the dies will cut out these 2 flowers and that leaf. It also has a couple of label dies and a couple of accent dies as well. So it all works well together. And they've given us some lovely examples which are quite easy to copy. So that's our Painted Poppies bundle. But if we go across to here to our Peaceful Moments bundle, what they've done here is they've given us in the stamps some beautiful sentiments. So you've got sentiments for all different occasions, with deepest sympathy, thank you, congratulations, even down to the fact there's some sentiments here that you could use around Remembrance Day, Anzac Day, any of those type of projects as well. And the dies for these actually cut out the flowers. Now they don't correspond so much with the die, with the stamp set over here with the florals. They cut out their own flowers, so they're quite independent from the other stamps. And we're actually going to play with tonight the frames from the painted label dies, and we're going to use the Poppy Moments dies and the Peaceful Moments stamp set and one of the leaves from the Painted Poppies. Now with these bundles, the Peaceful Moment bundle, you get 10% if you purchase this as a bundle, so it gives you a really great savings. So that's what we're playing with today. The other product we're going to play with today, because as I've said before, spend $90 and you get to choose something out of the Celebration catalogue. So one of the products we're going to be using today is a lovely stripe, black and white stripe, and it seems to be very popular at the moment with a lot of demonstrators in a lot of their work. So I thought, I'm going to give that a go. Now that black and white stripe comes from a different bundle. Let me just grab it here so I can show you. So this is it here, and it's called the Golden Honey Specialty Designer Series paper. And so that's the stripe that we'll be playing with, and then you have some beautiful black and white with gold, or yeah, I'm sure it's just a gold in it, that you can colour. There is in the mini catalogue a stamp set that you can coordinate with this, with the bees, and the dies actually cut out the bees as well. But we're just going to use this one stripe. So if you purchase $90, so if you purchase, say, the Peaceful Moments bundle, and that comes to $90.75, you can get this one for free. So how's that for a bargain? Always worthwhile having a look and speaking to your demonstrator about that. So let me pop this catalogue aside. I've done a little bit of the work for us tonight. We're going to see how we go. I've got 2 cards in mind. And as you can see, I've sort of done a little bit of die cutting. So what we're going to be using is this particular die here. And that cuts out this shape. Now normally what I would do is actually stamp my sentiment and then cut it out with the die. But when I was playing around today, I just wanted to see what was going to fit. So I haven't done any stamping, so we're going to, hopefully, I'm going to get it all straight. We're going to play with this die, which gives us this beautiful cut image here. And somewhere we've got our little stamens, which are going to go in the centre. I don't know whether you can see that, but it's also got some, like the centre part of the stamen there left as an embossed area. We're going to play with a few leaves in both black and green. And I'm going to try out something that Patty Bennett actually suggested the other day, and I posted it, I think, on my Facebook page. And that was she cut out a lot of leaves and everything in the Granny Apple Green and then sponged it in another colour to just give some different tones. So I thought we might have a go at that tonight. Okay, so let's just pop all these little bits and pieces to one side. And also what I've done here is I've given this ombre look by sponging a piece of cardstock. So I'm going to show you how I've done that. So I'm going to move all of these out of the road. And the first thing we're going to do is going to bring in this, and we're going to do that sponging. So this is our brayer. Now when you purchase these brayers, they come in packs of 2, I think. Oh, I don't want to guess on the price. I'd have to, if anyone wants to know the price, just let me know and I'll get back to you with it. And it comes with a couple of rollers and 2 handles. So you've got at least 2 of these. And I just take this piece off after I've finished with it and go and put it into the wash, and that will wash out. It will stain up, but it will wash out pretty well with some cold water. So let me just pop this back in. Okay, so let's move that one out of the road. So what we're going to do is we're going to use some real red ink. So we'll open up our ink pad. And we're going to work from, this is our dark end up to our light end. And what we're going to do is we're going to start working a little bit off our cardstock. I'm just moving everything out of the road so I don't get red on everything. Okay, so we're going to load up our brayer. So this is our sponge brayer. And when I do that, what I'm doing is I'm rolling in one direction. So I'm going to the top and rolling down, back to the top, rolling down. And I'm just going to load that up with some colour. Move that out of the road. Now you will get inky fingers with this. I think my sponge might be deteriorating a little bit. Might need to purchase some new ones myself. Okay, we're going to start working off our cardstock and we're going to work on. And what we're going to do as we get further and further closer to the top, we're just going to lift our hand and just bring it up lightly. Now I'm just going to turn that around and just put a little bit on the end there because I just want a little bit of colour there. So again, I'm going to start from the bottom. I'm going to hold my cardstock down and start working up. And as I'm going to the top now, I'm not going all the way to the top. Start from the bottom, work my way up. I'm going to re-ink my brayer and just keep going with this until you get the depth of colour you want. Working off my work and bringing it back on. Starting off and bringing it back on. And I just keep repeating this until I get the colour I want. Now, as you notice, I'm not going all the way up the top. Now I'm just going across the bottom and probably about halfway to 2/3 up. But I'm lifting it. So then as I'm getting up higher, I'm not putting as much pressure because I want the intensity of the colour to be down here, not up here. So I'm going to put a little bit more because I want that just that little bit brighter. Hold my cardstock again and work up. Now I'm just going to run over this just very lightly, just to put a little bit more colour into that. So I'm actually now quite happy with that look that I've got there. Okay, I think I might need a new roller. It's starting to deteriorate a little bit. Okay, so let's pop that aside and close that up. So I'm going to pop this over here just so then we don't get any ink on anything. Doesn't take too long for that to dry, so now we've got, that's how I've done that. Probably have a little bit more intensity of colour, but this hasn't dried off as yet and it may just dry slightly lighter, but I'm quite happy with that. Okay, so let's start looking at our card and looking at all the pieces that I've cut. By the way, this piece here, I've cut this 14.5 centimetres in length by 5 centimetres in width. So that's the size that I'm working from tonight. Our card bases are half a piece of A4 cardstock, and I actually cut mine just not quite as deep as halfway. So mine is 14.5 centimetres in depth. It is at 10.5 centimetres, 14 centimetres down by 10 centimetres across. So it's just slightly narrower than our card base. So my idea for this card is we're going to attach those two pieces onto there, and that piece is going to sit going from top to bottom on the top there like that. Okay, so what I've also done is I've cut another piece of Whisper White, and this is also 10 centimetres wide by 14 centimetres, and that's going to go on the inside of our card so we have something to write on. But I also want to stamp a leaf image on that, so I'm just going to pop that to one side. So the pieces that I have cut, let's just have a look here. Okay, so I've got a flower and our stamen, and then the flower I've cut out in the basic black and the stamen in the Mango Melody. So I love the intensity of the colour, and that's just with that, that's going to all pop. I've also got one of these little labels. As I said before, I usually will actually stamp the sentiment and then cut that out, but tonight we're going to see how good I am at cutting that nice and straight. And I've also cut a black leaf because I thought for this card here, this card I'm going to make into a sympathy card. It's not, I don't normally make a lot of these cards, but just every now and then you just want to have one, and I just thought that that was actually quite stunning. Now I wanted to have the depth of my colour at the top going to lighter at the bottom. The other thing I did cut out was another one of these leaves, but in green. Just let me pop this out. So I've cut this out in the granny apple green, and I just thought I'd have a look and see. So this is just about basically how I work. I cut out all my little bits and pieces, and then I start playing and working out, is this what I like? And I think, yes, I do like that. So that's the way I'm going to have that card. Now I've also cut out a few extra leaves, which if we get time, we will make another card using the flower. So let me just pop this card together. As I said, it's quite a simple and quick card to do. There's really no matting. We're cutting up our designer series paper, so we're loving it and chopping it, as Kylie would say. So I'm just using our multi-purpose glue. Whoops, don't want that in there. I'm just going around the edge and in the middle. Now what I like to do when I put this on is I always line up my longest length. So I'm going to line that up, pop that down. Now using with the multi-purpose glue, you can pick it up and you can got a few seconds there to move things about to make sure that you've got that all positioned. Now make sure you've got your card opening the right way, which I have. Okay, so I'm going to also use the multi-purpose glue to glue this down. Don't want to put too much glue on here because we don't want it oozing out over the edges. Oops. Again, we've just got a little bit of time here just to position that exactly where we want it. Now our sentiment. So with this sentiment, as I said, I want to make this one into a sympathy card. So I've got my sentiment here and we're going to use some Memento ink. Let's pop those out of the road for the moment. Now I like the Memento ink because it is an easy ink, like it's a water-based ink, so it is very easy to clean your stamps with afterwards. So I'm just stamping that up well. I'm going to line this up on my grid paper. Now I'm going to try not to get my head into this, so bear with me for 1 second and let's hope I've got this nice and straight. Not too bad. Quite happy with that. So let me just close that up. We'll be probably using that again in a moment. So we're going to pop that. Now I'm going to pop that onto some dimensionals. And they're over the other side of the room. Bear with me 1 second. Won't be a moment. So I'm just going to put a few dimensionals onto the back of this sentiment. Take the backings off them. So this is just a really simple card. This would make a great card for any mail. You can put happy birthday on it or one of the other wonderful sentiments. Now you do have stripes here to line it up, so that makes it nice and easy. Let me just have a quick look. Not too bad. What do you think? Okay, so let's just add our leaves on here. So I really like having that green coming out from underneath because I really love the black and white and that pop of those two colours. So what I'm going to do is add a little bit of multi-purpose glue just in a couple of places down here. I hope you've all had a wonderful day today. I've had a very busy day doing my alterations. So I'm just going to glue those two together. And they're going to go on the top. But I'm not going to put it onto more dimensionals. I'm just going to actually put it with a bit of glue in on there and just lay it flat, and it's actually going to sit on top of and I might want to put just a little, whoops, put a little bit of glue just on this one here. Just like that. Now you could pop just a little mini dimensional under there if you wish, but that glue will actually hold quite well. Now what I'm going to do, these are the beautiful sequins that comes in the bundle. I don't know whether you can see that, but there's some really lovely sequins in there. Now I must admit I cannot find my take a pick tool, so I'm just going to use some tweezers. And I've got a fine tip glue pen. I haven't used this for a while, so let's hope that it's going to work. I might just test it over here a little bit. Make sure there's some glue coming out. Oh, I may have got it blocked. It's been so long since I've used it. Yep, it's blocked. Let me see if I can unblock it. Just putting a fine needle. Whoops. I may not be able to use it. Let's see how we go. No, it doesn't like me today. I think if I take this off and run some hot water around it, I may be able to loosen that up. Otherwise, I'll just have to buy another one. Don't you love it when these things happen, especially when you're doing a Facebook Live? Makes things very real. I don't think I'll be using that pin anymore for dressmaking. No, it's not going to work for me. So I'm just going to pop this lid back on, so at least we don't get things worse. And I'll have to play with that later. So I'm just going to use my multi-purpose glue. And we're just going to very, very carefully pop a little drop there. Now usually we'd do something like this in groups of 3. So I'm just putting just a tiniest little bit, because remember a little bit of this goes a long way, and I'm going to put another one down here. Whoops, it's probably a bit more than a tiny bit. And then let's have a look, what colours will we put on here? Lots of great colours to choose. Let's have a look at the black. We could go black on there. See the colour I want. That one on there. Maybe just a little bit of gold. Okay. So we just want to keep that quite simple and quite subtle. May just have to put a little bit more glue underneath that one later on. Now, I mentioned I want to put something on the inside of this card, so let me just pop that to one side and bring out a piece of Whisper White. to, yeah, I'll take that off that block. Now with these cling stamps, they really do cling well. And a little trick, another little trick I heard someone say the other day, and I did give this a go, and it works really well, but if you've got some washi tape, some of the nice fine stuff, like this is some old washi tape that Stamping Up had a few years ago, and it's only like 4mm wide, and I'm just going to pop a piece of that right across the centre. And I'm going to put my stamped image on there. And that just allows that now, that if I wanted to lift that up, I can just easily lift that up on there. And that was just a fantastic idea. So I want to take my, probably actually will use Granny Apple Green. And this is just going to give us an outline image, so I just want to stamp this up quite well. And just pop that there. How's that? So again, I'm just going to grab my card, just pop the block out of the road. Bit of thumbs tonight. Open that up. Pop a little bit of glue. Now you could go all the way around all the edges, but I'm just going to put a little bit on top there. And then that is going to stick just in there like that. So there's our first card, just a very, very simple card. And I think that just looks great. Just pops with that red, that real red in the background. Okay, so let's very quickly pop that one to a side and let's have a look at the other one I've got, the other bits and pieces. Let's get rid of that. So again, we're going to start with the same basic black card base and our mat. So I'm going to glue that down. Again, just running it around all around the edges. Lay that down, and while it's still wet, just move it till it's in position. So I want it. Okay. So again, we've still got the same piece here, which we're going to attach on there. Okay, so that's on there like that. And this time I've got my poppy flower, just using the outline because I want that red to come through, but I've got this center, flower center, so I'm just going to pop a little bit of multi-purpose glue on the middle of that and stick that right in the center. Could put a dimensional underneath it if you just wanted that to pop up. So I want that sitting maybe about there. Let's have a look. We've got our leaves here. Now I do have a few extra. So let me just grab those. Just need to pop them out of their dies. They'll pop out quite easily, which is great. So we've got that one. And we've got that one. And what we're going to do, I'm going to give this a go and just sponging up these two pieces here. So I've got some colour I'm going to use is Shaded Spruce. And I've got a sponge. Now our sponges come in bags of 3 sponges, and they're around about that round, and you can cut them into quarters or into eighths. Quarters is quite a big piece. I like using mine in about an eighth, and I just wash mine out every now and then just to freshen them up again. And I'm just going to pat some colour onto this. I'm not putting on too much because I want that granny apple green to pop, to show through. So I'm probably putting a little bit more onto the top and then just sponging a bit down the bottom. So it's just giving that a little bit of a highlight. Okay, so I hope you can see that on there. Oops. So what I'm just going to do is I'm actually going to glue that down on top of that leaf. So it's just going to become part of that leaf. Again, we don't need to put too much glue on there. And there's our full leaf, and that's going to sit over the top. Whoops. Sit over the top like that. Oh, it just wants to stick to my finger. So I'm going to do the same again. Put a little bit of glue on there. This time I'm just going to put a little bit on that centre bit. Hopefully it won't stick to my finger again. Take our other leaf. Pop that underneath. So we've got a little bit of a contrast there. Now, I just don't like how that's sticking up. So I'm just going to grab a scrap here of cardstock. I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the end there. And I'm just going to pop that underneath. Just sort of to put some glue on the end. And that'll just hopefully, if I hold that down with my finger, should be enough glue on there just to glue that down. Beautiful. Okay, I hope this room's not getting too dark. I hope you can still all see. It looks on my tablet, it's nice, not too dark. It's just the sun is just starting to go down here. I didn't need to have my light on before. So, with that, we've got our little panel here to put our sentiment on, and this time I thought we might use as our sentiment. Now I'm just going to take this and take our leaf off there. And I've got thank you on this one. A couple of weeks ago I started making some cards which I'm going to give to some of the local RFS groups around here that have been doing a fantastic job. So this might be another card for them to say thank you. So ink this up again in my Memento black or Tuxedo black ink. Line up my banner there on my grid paper, and let's see how we go, getting this one nice and straight. Hold that down for a few seconds just to let that colour. Oh, he probably is a little bit low, but I think he is going to be okay. I think we'll make him work. Okay then. So let's have a look at our card and just see where we can position things. So we've got our leaves there, we've got our sentiment, we can bring him up a little bit. Now I like to work in imagining my card is divided into thirds. So proportionate wise I can get it all, keep it all nice and proportionate. And thirds is always a good rule of thumb to follow. So I think that one's going to go about there. And our leaves. I don't mind the leaf actually coming. What if we tuck that underneath rather than... Whoops, Doesn't want to go underneath. So tuck him underneath there, and that can go there. Could actually bring that one. I don't mind the look of that. Okay, let's put this all together then. So what I'm going to do is on the back of this is just add some glue on the back. And that is going to sit just about there. Just hold that down for a few seconds so it doesn't move about. Take that out for the moment. Okay, so we're going to pop one leaf, put some bit of glue on the back of that one. I think having the contrast in colour, the real red with the granny apple green and a little bit of the shaded spruce on the black and white, just really makes things pop. Now it's a case of, do we sit that on top or do I sit that underneath? I think I like to go underneath because my thank you is probably a little bit low, and that will actually fill up. And I might just see if I can still move him a little bit higher. Let me just have a look at that again. Yep, okay. That's the beauty of card making, is just playing around, layering things on top and seeing what you think. I know when I used to do a lot of embroidery, they used to always say, hold something up and squint at it. And when you squint at it, if something stands out like a sore thumb, then you know that that's probably in the wrong place. You know, it sounds silly, but it does work. Okay, so we've put some dimensionals on the back of that, and we're just going to sit that just there. Straighten him up a little bit more. Just like that. Beautiful. Okay, so now we need our piece for the inside of the card. And I have to bring back that leaf again. So because I put that strip of washi tape on there, it actually makes it really easy. I can get my fingernail underneath that and lift that off, which is really good. But I haven't cleaned these, so they're a little bit inky. So I better watch my hands. And again, I'm just going to place the leaf just there. A little bit of glue. Always worthwhile. Don't leave these glues without their lids off, or with their lids off. They dry up. Then you're going to have the problem like I have, trying to open it up. Okay. Pop that on the inside there. Just almost done. Now we're just going to add maybe a little bit of sequence to this. So I'm just going to add a little dot. Oops, that's a bit more than a little dot. One there. Again, just looking at doing it in a triangle. Another one there. Because what it does, it just brings your eye and brings anything within that triangle together. My room is getting quite dark here, so let's see if I can pick out the colours I want. We might go black one down there. Don't ever scrapbook or card make in the dark, it doesn't work. Gold one there. No, don't think I want. Actually, I might take that gold one off there and put him up there because that he'll stand out there. And then I can find. And these little sequins, some of them look like little flowers. They've got the shape. What I'm looking for is a dark. That one there. Oops, he wants to stick to my finger. Probably need a bit more glue there now. Let's just hold that down for a second. No, he doesn't want to stay. Just pop a little bit more glue on that. Beautiful. So there we have it. Just move those out of the road and grab the other card and bring that back in. So there we have two great cards. I think they look fantastic. I'm really pleased with the way they turned out using the Painted Poppies bundles.